If you've kept up with Source Engine content for the last 4 years or so, you know that everybody always talks about how creepy and unsettling the Source Engine is. And I do agree, it can be quite creepy, especially gmod with that one room in Construct, and maps like RP Downtown where it's supposedly haunted by the creator. But recently I've been thinking about if I can find a Garry's Mod map where I don't feel unsettled walking around it alone, and instead feel comforted in a way. So today I will be searching the workshop to find a map that is cozy and comfortable instead of giving me dread. And yes, I am completely out of ideas, so this is the best video idea I could come up with. So to start it off, I just decided to look up the word cozy on the workshop to see what I would find. And there are a few that just straight up say cozy in the name of the map, so I just downloaded a few that caught my eye. The first one I checked out was called Cozy Apartment, and like the title implies, it's a small little apartment, and it's actually designed really well, but I actually felt a bit creeped out walking around this map. It felt like any corner I turned could have had someone right in front of me. It also felt like somebody was watching me for some reason. I guess because the map creator made the apartment look really nice and feel real, so it did kind of feel like I was snooping around someone's real apartment. But I'd say I'd give this map a 2 out of 10 for coziness just because I felt creeped out the whole time. But for level design, I give it a 10 because like I said, it did feel like a real apartment. The next map I looked at was another house map called Cozy Rural Home. And for some reason the skybox was missing, which is weird because I have Counter-Strike Source installed, so I don't know why it's doing that. But this one didn't have much going for it besides it just being a small little home. It was somewhat cozy, especially with the snow around the house, but again, it still felt like I wasn't alone and was being watched. So I'd say a 3 out of 10 for coziness and a 7 for map design. Not a bad map by any means, but that apartment had a lot more detail, but this one does have a cute little charm to it. And the next one was definitely my favorite of the 3 I downloaded. This one was called Cozy Environments. This one was definitely creepy, especially with this room, but I'd say the cozy feeling this map gives off is super strong to me. I really love the aesthetic of the house, kind of like an old-fashioned mansion or something, and it gets even better outside. There was something about this map that made me extremely nostalgic. You can literally see in real time where I get nostalgic. And honestly, this is one of the prettiest gmod maps I've ever played. It's small, sure, but the aesthetic of the whole map is just so warm. And I think it makes me nostalgic because it weirdly reminds me of Christmas as a kid. So for coziness, I am definitely giving it at least a 7 out of 10. And for map design, a 10 out of 10. 100% one of the best looking gmod maps I've ever seen. Not the coziest, but still. So now I think I'm going to look at some classic maps that I find comforting, starting with one of my favorite maps, Free Space. I don't really know why, but I just absolutely love this map. There's just something so peaceful about wandering around Free Space. It does have something to do with being nostalgic for this map 100%, but I don't know, sometimes I just boot up gmod and play this map with no real intentions of what I'm gonna do. I just kinda do whatever. I love spawning in a car and driving around the whole map since it's so open. And how many of you can relate to just wanting to watch your ragdoll fall off these beam things, or just ragdoll in general? That has been one of my favorite things to do in gmod since I was a kid. That's literally the reason I wanted to play gmod as a kid, was the ragdoll physics. And yes, I might be autistic. There's not much to this map, just I think it's really cozy. So I rate the coziness of this map, I think an 8, and the level design an 8 as well. Just a nice little map. Another classic map I am very nostalgic for is the 7-Eleven map. And you know this is old when it's promoting Domokun. And apparently this was actually a real 7-Eleven promotion for, I think, worldwide, where they used Domokun to promote 7-Eleven and I think a new flavor? This map for me is weirdly comforting, partially because it's nostalgic, but I don't know, this map is just so cozy to me. I remember watching Venturian Tale play this map, and I thought Vanoss played this one, but I guess not. Also, if you want to stay cozy and comforted in this map, just don't go in the elevator. So for comfort, I give it another 8 out of 10, and for map design, it's pretty simple, but very well done, so I'd say a 9 out of 10. Well, I guess we're on a nostalgia trip. This one is called Destructible House. And another super simple one, but also a classic. I probably spent way too many hours on this map. All you do is just destroy this house and watch the physics and FPS drop unfold in front of you. I'm pretty sure even with a NASA computer, you would still go down to 12 FPS or lower. You know the meme, can it run Crysis? Well, I think we should change that to, can it run Fizz DMM House on gmod with no FPS drops? It's impossible. But honestly, I think the frame drops add a bit of charm to this map. It's not really a cozy map to me, just kind of nostalgic, but I thought I would add it to this video since we're on the topic of nostalgic maps. So for coziness, I'd give it a 4, you know what, maybe a 5. I'd give it a 5. And for map design, a 5. But for the amount of fun you can have on this map, a 10, easily. Alright, I think I'm done with nostalgic maps for now, and instead gonna move on to maps that other people have said were comfy. The first one I checked out was a roleplay map called Asheville. And I gotta say, this map is really big and has a ton of detail put into it. I like the little puddles here and there that have reflections, and I love all the fog around the map, kind of reminds me of DayZ. And at first it was sort of cozy, but as I played more, I found dead bodies and this Silent Hill-ass looking room. So it quickly became not cozy, and I was actually pretty creeped out. There also seems to be some lore, I think, because of these notes in the police department. So for a roleplay map, this is actually super cool and probably the best RP map I've seen. Most RP maps are super simple, so this one was actually pretty nice, and I think it would be really fun to RP on this map. You can just tell there was a ton of effort put into it. So I guess if you ever need a creepy and atmospheric map, then I suggest downloading this one. 11 out of 10 map design for sure. The next one I checked out was another foggy map called City of Silence. And again, it wasn't as cozy as I was hoping, just a bit creepy. Not as creepy as the last one, but still. I did get jump scared by this glass breaking in a gas station, so that was great. Kinda wish I had my mic on for that one. And with all the fog and long roads, this is literally just Silent Hill 2 in gmod. Which I do like, but I'm looking for comfy maps, not dreadful maps. It is a cool map though, and did make me want to go and finally finish my Silent Hill 3 playthrough. So for coziness, I'd say a 1 out of 10 because of that damn jump scare, even though it was my fault. And I'd say a 6 out of 10 for map design. Also, I really don't know why I've been rating these maps, but I've rated all of them so far, so I guess I can't stop now. The next map I played is called The World as an Idea. And honestly, I think we might have a winner for the coziest gmod map because this map made me feel so comfortable. The aesthetic really reminds me of Sonic Adventure 1, and I love that game's vibe, so I absolutely love this. And besides it reminding me of Sonic Adventure, this map has a really cozy aesthetic in general. It seems the map uses mostly custom textures in an artistic decision, because there's just something about this map that feels like everything has a purpose to make you feel a certain way. I don't really know how to explain it. And if that's what the map creator was going for, then they nailed it. There's also this really nice background music that I'll let play out for a minute. The music really helps drive the vibe of this map, but I feel like even without the music, the map would still be extremely cozy. I know I said at the beginning the Cozy Environments map was the best map I've ever seen, but honestly, I think this one might take the cake. The Environments one made me nostalgic, but this one made me nostalgic and want to live here forever. I don't know if I would want to live in the Cozy Environments map. So I'd say a 10 out of 10 for everything, and this one might win the coziest map in my opinion. I'll check out a few more maps, but I'm pretty sure this one wins. The next one I downloaded just for fun is called Arrow City. There isn't much to this map, but I thought it was really unique and cute. It uses that Windows Vista Arrow aesthetic everyone is obsessed with right now, and honestly I don't blame anyone for being obsessed with it because I also love it. Also, this little PNG of the creator's OC talks and moves, and I think it's adorable. This one was also super cozy to me, and I would not mind living here either. The creator also has some other maps that I suggest checking out. But I'd rate this map a solid 9.5. The next map is called Dying Mall, and was made by the same person who made The World as an Idea, and it's just as interesting as that one. It's got the same kind of vibe and aesthetic to it, and it also has some nice music. By the way, the song is called Aquatic Ambience by Skizzy, and I think it fits the map really nicely. Most of the map is kind of like a super stylized version of a Backrooms kind of map, and it is very dreamy and surreal, and there's just something about these maps that I adore. I always love it when I come across maps like these, and that's honestly why I like doing these kind of videos, because it gives me an excuse to go out and find maps like this. This map actually reminds me a lot of something Nipper would do, which I really like. And I say this a lot, but you can just tell how much effort and love went into this map. Maps as good as these aren't really easy to find, but I kind of like that they're hidden. Because since it's not easy to find it, it almost feels like it finds you. I don't really know, that analogy was kind of corny, but whatever. I'd rate this map a solid 8.5, and I'd suggest checking out the creator's other maps. And the final map I will be looking at is called RP Leavenworth. And this one is definitely one of the prettiest and detailed maps I've ever seen, for sure. This whole map uses custom textures, I'm pretty sure, so I think this is really impressive looking. It does have some performance issues, but I think that might be just my shitty computer. It also has a blinding sunbeam. But besides that, this is a super unique roleplay map. It's got a nice little cafe kind of place, a little shop with a bunch of nerd shit, a really nice looking riverside, and a whole ass fully functioning bowling alley. So yeah, I'd say this map is definitely not worth leaving. But besides having some performance issues and not a whole lot going on, it is a very cozy roleplay map in my opinion. I don't know how much RPing could go down here since it's small, but it would probably be fun. So I'd rate this map a nice 9.5. So that about covers it for cozy gmod maps. And since the title says finding the coziest gmod map, what wins the coziest map? I'd probably have to say the world as an idea, at least for me. Maybe you guys have a different pick from this video, or a different map in general that I did not look at in this video. So let me know if you guys have a cozier map that I did not look at in this video, and maybe I'll consider doing a part 2, even though I'm bad at doing part 2s apparently. And let me know if you guys want more gmod videos. It could be about more map stuff, or really anything else. I am completely open to suggestions. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching.